Live. Welcome to Saturday Baseball. Okay. Go to the chat room. Check it out. We should be live on Spreaker. Should be live on video. Today we're going to talk about injuries. I'm going to have some nuggets because Lenny was so proud of his nuggets today. Oh, that's funny. Lenny was so proud of his nuggets every day. Okay. Hi, Poncho Jr. Nice to see you from Chicago. Good. Nice to have you aboard. Unholy Toledo is here. Yay. Where's Malpal? Hold on. Got to tell Malpal to get. What's he doing? He said he wasn't going to go to Vegas today. He's got this league where it's 32 years this league's been going on. They have a draft in Vegas. He's been trying to decide if he wants to go to Vegas from San Diego. He's got $2,000 worth of credits in Southwest Airlines because he had to cancel a bunch of flights last year for COVID reasons. But I just told him to get on over. So hopefully Douglas will come by. And anyway, let's get started. Nice to meet you. Poncho's not here anymore. Unholy, you're still a big deal. Okay, wherever you go, you are a big deal. Don't let them tell you anything different because they're a bunch of liars. Really? That's true. All right. All right, here's some trivia. We're going to get started with some trivia. Ready, Unholy? You're the only one. I'll probably repeat this if someone else comes, but maybe they won't. There's lots of stuff to do today. It's a beautiful sunny day outside, so we should all go golfing, right, Unholy? Or we should sit in our yards and watch other people go golfing. Anyway, okay. Active players, okay? Active players with 75 or more career home runs in both the American League and the National League. There are 4. Actually, 4. I know, it's crazy, right? The obvious ones are pretty easy. It's Albert Pujols and Miguel Cabrera. But there's 2 others that, this will be Genius of the Day question number 1. The other 2 players that have 75 or more home runs in both American and National League. Okay, that's Genius of the Day 1. So go ahead. It's me and you, Unholy. It's me and you. Joe Musgrove, I already talked to Malpal about this. Big San Diego guy. Joe Musgrove hit or threw the first. Oh, it's beautiful there. Unholy. It looks nice. Hey, dogs. Nice to see the dogs doing good. Okay. Joe Musgrove threw the first Padres no-hitter. They were the very last team to have a no-hitter, so that's exciting. It's also really exciting that Joe Musgrove is from San Diego, and his family is, they had season tickets the whole time he was growing up, so we used to go to Jack Murphy Stadium. That's the ballpark that it used to be called the Jack Murphy Stadium, but now it's called Petco Park, I believe. Yeah, Petco. Anyway, first no-hitter in franchise history. It was very exciting for him. It's crazy because I was like, wait a minute. He didn't allow any hits. He struck out 10. And I thought, if he didn't allow any hits, but he pitched a no-hitter, so, like, how does this happen? Well, he hit a batter, so that sucks for him. Otherwise, it would have been a perfect game. So we'll give him credit, and that's real exciting. Now, the team that's gone the longest without a no-hitter is Cleveland Indians. And they haven't had a no-hitter since, I think, 1981. If you can imagine, because their pitching is so good, right? 6th pitcher since 1990 to throw a no-hitter for a team from the state where they're from, where they were born. That includes Jared Weaver, Kevin Gross, Nolan Ryan did it twice, Terry Mulholland, and Dave Stewart. Oakland, Philly, Texas, Dodgers, whatever. Dog friendly. Yeah, definitely dog friendly. Okay. I'm so glad you're here, Unholy. Lenny's here too, of course, but it's not the same. So speaking of the Indians, this is another one of Lenny's tidbits. Emmanuel Clase, he threw 11 pitches over 100 miles or at 100 miles an hour yesterday. He's thrown 29 pitches so far with the Indians at 100 miles an hour or more. All the other pitchers in Indians history have combined for 14 total pitches over 100 miles an hour. That's since the pitch tracking era. I mean, you know, we don't really know anything before 2008, but since they started keeping track of the velocity of pitches, only 14 pitches total. And this guy has thrown already 29 pitches, 100 miles an hour or more. So that's, keep an eye on this guy too. He's pretty good to watch. I mean, really pretty fun to watch this guy. I mean, you know, that probably goes without saying with the velocity of 100 miles an hour, but he's probably going to throw his arm out. So for fantasy purposes, I'm not going there. The Reds, I don't know what happened, but the Reds are scoring runs like crazy. They have scored at least 6 runs in every single game. Broke the franchise record for the most runs in the first 7 games, and that's 63 runs that they've scored in 7 games. And I don't know if it has anything to do with Castellanos, but like he was on fire the other day when he it was totally worth whatever suspension, stupid suspension that they gave him, which to me is bogus because he didn't even do anything. He was the one that got hit by the pitch. Big deal. He was pumped up. He actually got home. He basically stole home on a wild pitch, and he was pumped up because that guy hit him 93 miles an hour on the side. So what? I don't know. I just find the baseball has lost their freaking mind. Absolutely lost their mind. They got Bauer, dude. Okay, let's just go ahead and talk about Bauer right now. So what if Bauer is actually doing this on purpose? What if he's fine with the fact that they're going to clamp down on the sticky stuff? Because Bauer's been complaining for years about the fact that pitchers are using it and nobody's doing anything about it. Everybody's buddy Garrett Cole is, you want to talk about, I mean, look, it came out just a few weeks ago, maybe a month or 2 ago at the most, that Garrett Cole that this guy working for the Angels had worked for the Angels for 30 years or so, got fired because it comes to find out he's like the banned substances distributor of all of baseball, like players from other teams. Garrett Cole is one of them. Verlander's one of them. So, it's just it's easy to throw stones when you live in a glass house, right? But you shouldn't do that. And so everybody wants to talk about Bauer. People he's very, very polarizing player. He's a very polarizing person, to be honest with you. People either like him or they don't. But can we just get over the fact that you don't like his personality or you don't like his politics? Get over it. Yes, he admitted last year that he has been trying for 8 years to get his spin rate up. And the only thing that he's been able to get it up with is sticky substances. So now it's what? Are they collecting balls from all the pitchers, or are they just collecting balls from Trevor Bauer? Because Manfred's pissed off that he called out MLB for not doing anything about it. So now they're they have some kind of problem with Bauer. Well, the thing is, maybe Bauer doesn't even care, because whatever suspension they could give him, they gave Michael Pineda 10-game suspension for having it on his hand, right? Or on his neck. Remember that? So they suspended Michael Pineda for 10 games. That's really the only thing that I have that could even, set a precedent for this particular situation where what are they going to do to him? They say the umpires actually collected the balls. They said that there was, they felt something sticky on the ball. So they took them into their lab or whatever. And it's even if I don't know if the umpire was able to pull the ball after just one pitch from the pitcher to the catcher. And there's really not any way to prove what's going on. Where's the chain of custody here? Who put the sticky stuff on the ball? Maybe it could have been the catcher. Maybe it was on a bat. You never know. Either way, it's going to be pretty hard to enforce this stuff. I mean, maybe Trevor Bauer's fine with it. Maybe he's sick and tired of everybody else doing it. And he's maybe if I put it right in front of their face, they'll actually have to do something about it. So it really could be some reverse psychology here working. And that wouldn't even surprise me at all about Trevor Bauer, because he simply is like that. And so, okay, fine. You're going to finally do something about it. And then, we'll see from there. It obviously isn't enough to just say that you care about it, because pitchers are still going to do it. They're probably all doing it right now. And Bauer is probably doing it too. He struck out 10, both outings that he's had so far. So but you go to The Athletic is where I was reading about this particular situation. Ken Rosenthal wrote an article, and then some other guy, the beat writer for San Francisco Giants, wrote an article talking about how, you can say what you want, but it's coming for you too. Like, you don't think it's going to affect your team? Yeah, you can cheer about the fact that your rival, the Dodgers, are already in trouble with it. But believe me, it's going to affect everybody, and they're going to pick out who they want, pick and choose who. They better be like doing it for everybody. This is not supposed to be like just, oh, we only care about certain people. And Manfred would not surprise me if he did that, because this fool is just a total fool. Everything that he's doing lately is just foolish. Like, what is he thinking? In so many ways, okay? In so many ways. I really hope that it comes around and bites him. And I really hope that, looking back, he's known as the most ignorant, stupid, political guy that baseball ever had as their commissioner. Moving on. Okay, moving on. Yermin Mercedes. He's got 15 hits in 6 games. If he's available, of course, take a shot on him. Don't spend a good chunk of your fab money on this guy, okay? He only qualifies at DH. He's only going to continue qualifying at DH. He's not very good behind the plate. They already have Yasmani Grandal to play catcher. So if he does get any time behind the plate, it's going to be few and far between to give Grandal a day off here or there. And it's going to take him a while to get catcher eligibility if he doesn't already have it. Now, I know that in some leagues, on some websites, he's already qualified at catcher. He did play that in the minor leagues. So we'll have to see what happens. But only 4 players since 1906 have had more hits in their first 6 games. Okay. I'm not going to tell you. Should I tell you who it was? The last one was in 1990. It was Barry Larkin. He's on the list for pickups this weekend. Just watch out, because these guys that are like going for a massive amount of your fab, you really have to question whether or not you think that it's going to be sustainable. And the fact is, what I just said, nobody's been able to do that. So, I mean, just the chances of him continuing to do that are very slim to none. So the Reds have, like I said, they broke the record for the most runs scored in the franchise record for the most runs scored in the first 6 games. Arizona, on the other hand, the opposite end of the spectrum here with Arizona, they have 2 3-game losing streaks already. They need Gallen back. I really need Gallen back too, so that's probably why I feel that way. Ohtani hit home run number 50. Now, Ohtani is a special situation here. I've never been a huge Ohtani fan, like in fantasy. I'm a fan of him in baseball. Of course, I want him to do well. I think that this year might be the breakout year for him, but he's already dealing with blisters. I don't know what they're doing letting him bat, but they are. And so you think about the blister. The worst thing that you could do for a blister is keep rubbing on it. Like, you have to hold, I guess you have a glove on, and you're able to like put a Band-Aid on probably, and you're not allowed to do that when you're pitching. So I can understand why his start was taken away from him for Sunday. He's not pitching right now. We don't know when he's going to be able to pitch. It's when his blister heals, basically. Blisters are a bad thing. Like, they sound so menial for you and me. If we got a blister, we would just like let it heal, and that would be okay. But it's not the same, okay, for a pitcher, because the worst thing you could do is continue to make it worse. It could get infected. It could like fill up with, it's just very bad situation. The fact that he's hitting is great. Like yesterday, he drove in 4 runs. He just basically, taking care of the Angels with his bat for sure. But I'd watch out. And if it were me and I happen to have Ohtani on a team right now, after last night's performance at the plate, I would be selling on him. I would be selling, because he's just not proven that he could do both things. And you right now, he's looking great. People are like, oh, yay, he's hitting great. He's a pitcher too. Everything's good. I could get all this. I'm just saying, he's got a blister and we don't know when it will go away, but batting is not helping it. It can't be. Just like batting wasn't helping his Tommy John surgery, but apparently it didn't hurt him. So I don't know. I'm not the doctor here. Just saying, my opinion. Mike Trout, okay, is on pace for 69 home runs, 139 RBI, and 185 walks this season. That gives him an 18.5 WAR. if he keeps up what he's doing right now. And Mike Trout got bumped down on the list in drafts this year. He was not the number one pick, and it was very rare to see him the number one pick. So it was made very clear that Mike Trout no longer holds that title of number one, just automatically draft Mike Trout and don't think twice about it. It's obviously not the case, but Mike Trout is experienced. He's consistent. It might be a little bit boring at this point. Probably that's the only thing that I could think of why he was dropped down. He didn't have a great 2020, but it wasn't like some of the 2020s that we've seen. So anyway, he just deserves lots of credit. Manny Machado. Okay, Manny Machado has, hold on a minute, he's batting 240 with one extra base hit. 240. Hold on a minute, though, because Manny Machado has hit so many hard exit velocity. He's got a 95.9 mile an hour average exit velocity, okay? It ranks second to Mike Trout. He's actually hit 13 balls over 100 miles an hour, okay? Exit velocity of over 100 miles an hour. That's number one in baseball. Nobody's hit that many balls that hard. And he's obviously just, he'll come around. Believe me, don't start doubting Machado because I put this with Machado, but I meant to put this information with Ohtani. Not what I just said. What I just said is true about Machado. But with Ohtani, he's batting 300 right now. Of the 344 on base percentage, 3 home runs, 8 RBI, 7 runs scored, and 2 stolen bases in only 8 games. And we don't know when he's going to return to the mound. Sell him if you can. If someone wants to get him from you, you should do it. Seattle, okay, we're not even going to go there with Seattle. The Nats, they haven't scored a run in 16 innings, so get going, Nats. And Lenny loves this stat. With the Max Scherzer, Lenny was I didn't put it in my notes, but Lenny was very excited about it. When I went downstairs right before the show, he was like, I love that stat about Max Scherzer. He had told me that Max Scherzer has this splits on the road and at home. They're exactly the same, like K per 9, walks per 9. Everything's exactly the same with Max Scherzer at home or on the road, no matter which ballpark. This is career. It's not just in Washington, but everywhere he's played. He knows Arizona drafted Max Scherzer. I'm pretty sure Max Scherzer came from Detroit to the Washington Nationals, but I'm not positive of that. I think so. Anyway, no matter where he's pitched, which is at least 3 places, he has the exact same stats at both home and on the road. There's still some free agents available that aren't signed yet in real baseball. Encarnacion is not signed. Cespedes, Puig. There's quite a few of them that were on the list. But I only like to talk about things that are useful to you for fantasy baseball today. Come to the chat room. If you're watching on Facebook, come to the chat room. Lenny Melnick, fantasysports.com/live. We have guest Katharina. I don't even know. I never heard of anybody named that, but it's a girl. Gender doesn't matter anymore. So anyway, Ohtani went 2 for 5 with 4 RBIs yesterday, and he was scratched from his start this Sunday due to his blister. But on the good news is, these are injuries that we're talking about now. Robbie Ray threw a bullpen, and he is going to return soon, as early as Monday. I know, right? Like, I'm the one that's always dogging on Robbie Ray and the people that even put Robbie Ray on their fantasy team. But he looked so good this spring that I actually have him on a couple teams, really late picks. Because you know one thing, you're going to get 200 strikeouts. I never, argued that, okay? But what you're going to get also with Robbie Ray is a bunch of home runs, walks, blah, blah, blah. And so it just wasn't worth it to me. I couldn't figure out why anybody even had him on their fantasy team, but I do now. He's got a new pitch. He's throwing huge velocity this spring, looked really good, and striking out batters like always. Just some other news for injuries is that Lourdes Gurriel was removed yesterday due to the effects of the vaccine. He was throwing up, so they took him out. He could return. The COVID injured list is there's no minimum on there. So a guy could go on the COVID list and he could come off anytime he's ready, anytime he's gotten through his quarantine or whatever it is that he's doing. If he's sick from the vaccine, that counts as a COVID list. So he will come back as soon as he feels better. Also, Teoscar Hernandez was placed on the injury list Friday following exposure to a positive COVID-19 case. That was just a friend of his outside of the team, but they're really being pretty quiet about whether or not Teoscar Hernandez actually has COVID or if he's just being cautious. So we'll see what happens there. It's for privacy reasons that they can't really tell anything more than the fact that he's quarantined right now. Ryan Barucki, he was also placed on the IL due to the side effects of the vaccination. He had a fever. He wasn't feeling good. He also is eligible to come back whenever he feels better. Manny Margot is out for the second straight day because he has a tweaked groin. All right. Watch for him to return tomorrow, Sunday. I think that he's going to miss one more day today and come back tomorrow. We don't know, but watch. Manny Margot. There's plenty. We're going to talk about some players you could pick up just in case you have Manny Margot on your team in just a little bit. So Cole Calhoun is back. That is wonderful. That was quick. Okay. And he started, when he got injured, like he started going for so cheap in drafts that I threw him on a couple of my teams, like last pick, and in best ball leagues. I'm all about some Cole Calhoun, especially in points leagues where he just hits for power, right? Power. He is back. He came back yesterday, and so that's good. If he's available, he would be a good one to grab off the waiver this weekend, tomorrow. Also, Nick Ahmed is planning on returning this weekend, which is bad news. Well, whatever. There's anybody that has Josh Rojas on their team there's no bad news for you because you've been dealing with bad news ever since opening day. This guy has been horrible. He was the leadoff batter at the beginning of the season. Okay. It's only a week into the baseball and he was dropped from the leadoff spot immediately. He's got an 0.74 batting average and he is going to lose his job the minute that Nick Ahmed steps back on the field. Okay. There's no defense in the world that could make up for the batting problems that Josh Rojas has displayed since he got the job at shortstop in Arizona. Ahmed is great defensively, so it doesn't matter if he hits or not. He will be in the lineup. Okay, Dexter Fowler had to be carted off the field. He was diagnosed with a knee contusion, a cut on his knee, I guess. The management, what's his name? I forgot his name. Anyway, he said that he's not going to miss a lot of time. I bet nobody even that I'm talking to right now even has Dexter Fowler on their team, but just letting you know. He is going to miss a day or two. Sonny Gray. So Sonny Gray, if he doesn't have any troubles, if he doesn't have any setbacks or soreness today in his scheduled sim game that he's pitching, he could be back on the mound by this coming Friday. This coming Friday at home against Cleveland is when they expect Sonny Gray to come back. That's very good news for people in fantasy. Definitely good news for me because I have him on at least one league and one league. Okay, Gio Urshela was a late scratch due to the side effects for the vaccine. He could return today. Teams are apparently they're spacing out when the people get the vaccine on their team. So they're like letting a couple, 4 or 5 guys get it one day, and then the next day they'll let another 4 or 5 guys get it, or like a few days later or whatever, but they're trying to space out the players so that they're not all sick at once. I don't know why guys this age are even getting the vaccine. It makes no sense to me when your chances of living are 99%. It just makes no sense why you would go out and get a vaccine at this age. But okay, I'm not going to dog anybody for doing it because it's your body and it's your choice. And it's my body and my choice too. So, that goes both ways. I live in New York, so I'm finding out that you can't really do anything unless you get it. And I say I'm not doing anything then because I refuse. That's just me. Garrett Hampson. Okay, here we go. Here's some players to pick up. Guest Arlene is here now. Nobody stays, but that's okay. Guest Arlene, nice to see you. So, Garrett Hampson, why is he still available? He is still available in lots of leagues. I don't know why. He qualifies at second base, shortstop, and outfield. He's played 8 games. Okay, that's 8 games out of 8 games. like, I'm looking at just the point system in Tout Wars, which is the CBS point system that we're using this year. So he scored 32 points already this season. In 8 games, he has 6 RBI, 4 walks, 7 hits, 1 stolen base, and 7 runs. Garrett Hampson is a must-add, right? Goes without saying, kind of, at this point. Colorado. Chris Owings also is in Colorado, second base and outfield position eligibility here with Chris Owings. Now, what are you going to get out of Chris Owings? I don't know, but he scored 31 points already in 7 games. So 6 runs, 2 stolen bases, 3 triples, and 3 RBI. See, Chris Owings is a little harder for me to swallow than Garrett Hampson, right? Because, I don't know, I just feel like, let me look at Owings' stats. I'm going to pull him up so I don't say something that's not true. He's got an injury now, a hamstring, day to day. So I'm sorry. That just that's the cherry on top for me. The guy is he's 30 years old this year. He hit 12 home runs one time in 2017. He's not a home run guy. He does steal a few bases, but he hasn't stolen more than 5 bases since 2018. And his batting average can be just miserable, or it could be like okay average, but it's not ever like really great. Right now it's 533. It's just, that is unsustainable. He can't, since 2019, 2019, 2020, and 2021, the last 3, he has batted against right-handed pitchers 150. That's absolutely horrid. And he's getting at bats against righties because it's almost like no way around it. So he's playing. I mean, 2020, he had 21 plate appearances against righties and 23 against righties and 21 against lefties. So, I mean, he just doesn't play very much. He had 44 plate appearances all last season. Now, I can't say what the problem was, but the year before that, he only had, in a full season, he only had 196 plate appearances, and so something's wrong. It's not going to last, that's for sure. His batting average on balls in play right now is .615. I just can't get on the Chris Owings bandwagon, but I put him on the list because he has scored a lot of points in points league so far. Another one, middle infielders that we're talking about right now is Kim, Ha-Seong Kim. Forgive me if I don't say the name right. I haven't really heard anybody saying it that I trust that knows how to say it. Okay. Anyway, he's exciting because he came over from Korea. I didn't know anything about him. It's like hard to compare stats from Korea to here. We've seen time and time again that they just don't really compare much. Okay. Daniel's here. Nice to see you, Daniel. Okay, good. Great. Now Unholy has someone to talk to in the chat room. So very good. He had a batting average between 281 and 307 over 6 seasons in Korea. One good thing that we get when they come over is that they're like mandatory. They have to play for a certain number of years before they're able to sign with MLB. So you do have some pretty good history to go by, but you can't compare the two, right? Anyways, here's what I know. His power fluctuated a little bit in Korea, but it always had like the lowest was like 20 home runs. So he does have power. He did hit 30 one time. He has some speed. So he has 20 or more stolen bases, he has at least 20 stolen bases 4 times out of 6 seasons in Korea. So he can run. He's hit 35 plus doubles 3 times, and his career on base percentage in the KBO is .373, which, okay, we don't know but I'll say right now, he's worth a grab. How much do you spend on him? I'd like to know what you guys think in the chat room. They are expecting, or RotoWire has him projected for 12 home runs, 13 stolen bases, a .281 average, and 58 RBIs. Okay, but he's had 20 plate appearances this season, and he has 0 stolen bases. He has 0 home runs, and he's batting .167 right now. He's on everybody's grab list. He's on everybody's everybody's like scrambling around. I read an article at RotoWire about who to pick up. I listened to the podcast at The Athletic, and I also read an article at The Athletic on who to add and who to drop or whatever. They all talk about Kim. Well, right now I don't really know why why are they? Because Tatis, that's why. Because Tatis is out. So that's why he's being talked about so much. But I would really recommend, again, I mean, I'm not the type of person that likes to spend a lot of money early in the season with fab money. I just like to hold on to some of it, especially like this year. I feel like there's always a reason why, but this year I feel like it's just maybe even more so than normal, because who knows what's going to happen with your pitching? Who knows what's going to happen with your injuries? And I feel like you might really need it going later into the season than normal. But I mean, I understand why people spend a lot on fab like early in the season, especially when the youngsters come up and they make their debut. You always have to spend a lot on that. And then, it gets to a point in the season where the players that are going to help your fantasy team, they're either up or they're not going to come up in time to help you that much. So anyways, like I said, he does hit for power. He does steal bases. At least he did in Korea. We don't know what that means for here. Okay. But I'd be hesitant for sure. Tommy Pham was in the Nuggets, but I don't know what it said. What's Tommy Pham doing? I think it was talking about that he's having bad luck right now. Let's see. Yeah, he's batting 148. 148. Lenny will tell you in the chat room what the Nuggets said, because I've skipped over that one. Yep. All right, moving on. We just talked about the middle infielders to pick up, and well, we're going to have to talk about outfielders right now, because Tyler Naquin has 5 home runs. Malpal was like, I asked him what we should talk about today, and he said, I want to know if you think that Tyler Naquin is real or not. And so I did some digging. Maybe I'll hold off just in case Malpal does come, but I'm a little worried about him because we talked about today's show and he's not here. I don't know. Maybe he decided to go to Vegas, and that would be awesome, because Vegas is always a fun time. So he was talking about going. So I'm just going to assume that he's on a flight right now to Vegas. Okay. Michael Taylor. No, we're not going to talk about the outfield yet. Let's talk about we already talked about German Mercedes. Okay. I don't really think there's a lot more to talk about with that. We talked about Cole Calhoun. Let's talk about some corner infielders that are doing well that you might want to pick up. So in Tout Wars, I drafted this guy, Yuli Gurriel. I actually paid for him in the auction, and then I dropped him because he was like an extra. That was before I figured out that Trey Mancini didn't qualify at first base in Tout Wars. Okay, even though, whatever, that's just ridiculous. That's my opinion. Of course, I'm going to say that because I have Trey Mancini, and then I had nowhere to put him because I had no other first baseman to put in that spot. So I dropped Yuli Gurriel, and Yuli Gurriel is hitting very well right now. And I'm not that surprised, to be honest with you. I'm just not that surprised. Like, I don't, he's not going to be fantastic. He's not going to hit, what he did a couple years ago, which was hit more than 30 home runs. And, he had a almost batting average of almost 300. But you see, Yuli Gurriel is good for a couple things. Number one, he hits pretty much in the middle of the lineup. He gets on base. He doesn't strike out very often, and he takes walks. So those are things that just don't go away. These are consistent, attributes that he has. He makes great contact. Over 85% of the time, he makes contact. So no, he's not going to hit 30 home runs, but absolutely he's going to drive in runs. He's going to score runs. He's going to hit for a good average, probably. He doesn't strike out very much. Definitely, I think that he did not have a good season last year, but he was going way late. And I guarantee he's probably available in the majority of leagues, over 50% of the leagues. He's available over maybe 60 or 70% of the leagues he's available. He was going like 350th overall. So he's absolutely off to a hot start. He's gone, let's see, right now he's 10 for 28 with a 357 batting average, 3 extra base hits, 1 home run, 3 RBIs, 4 runs, and he's not doing anything flashy, but he's scoring points, and that's for sure. In Tout Wars, I think he's up really close to 30 points already. And that's like the most that you're going to find on the waiver wire right now, this early in the season. Anyways, we know, we know what we're getting out of him. He's not young. He's 36. So expect like 15, 20 home runs out of him, 80 RBIs, 80 runs, and a 280, 270 batting average. I'll say 270. And like 1 or 2 stolen bases. Don't be counting on any stolen bases from this guy. Anyway, for sure. He is worth picking up for corner. The next guy on the list is Evan Longoria. Another older guy, but this guy is off to a phenomenal start. I can definitely tell you that he's worth picking up. Let me see what he's done in the last few days. But last time I checked, he already had 3 home runs. He's got an illness. What's his problem? The vaccine. He's out with side effects from the vaccine. He's available off the bench. Anyways, he needed a rest, right? Because this is the first time he sat out this season, and it seems like a big trend that people are getting rest already. It's like, what the hell is going on, okay? What is going on with this? But whatever it is, he's had 3 home runs, 5 RBI, 7 hits, 4 runs, and a 318 batting average. And no, he's not going to hit 318, but we know exactly what we're getting out of Evan Longoria. It does not change year to year. It's like last year he hit 7 home runs. He was on pace for 20. So here's the thing. He's on pace for 20 home runs last year. The year before that, he hit 20 home runs. The year before that, 16. Before that, 20, 36. Like, obviously, his career year was in 2016, and it's not going to be ever that again. But you can count on every year, 20 home runs. He's going to get a decent number of RBIs, 70 or 80 RBIs. And I don't even tell you to put him in and expect him to play all season. But if you need somebody to fill a gap at first base, third base, corner, Evan Longoria could be your man. There's no doubt about it. He bats 4th and 5th. He bats 4th against lefties and 5th against righties. Evan Longoria. Okay, I think we said enough about that. He scored 26.5 points in Tout Wars Points League and CBS Points Leagues. Okay, let's talk about Nate Lowe. Nate Lowe, there's number one, he's on a horrible team. I don't think Texas is any good at all. He went 0 for 4 with the stolen base on Wednesday. He's on the list, though. Everybody's talking about him, picking him up. Let's look at the depth charts. He's actually got a good average right now. He's batting 286. So that 0 for 4 was just whatever. He's had 4 extra base hits, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs so far. Holy moly, Nate Lowe. Okay, 14 RBIs. That's crazy good. But he never walks. He strikes out way too much. I guarantee he's going to strike out over 30% of the time. That's a problem. Believe me. Overall, through time, it's a problem. But as our friend that was on the round table last week, right? We had a new friend, Adam, came on. He does a podcast on his own. And I listened to his podcast, and he said something super, which is don't count. Who cares about batting average? Who cares about strikeout percentage when you're just filling in a gap? When you're trying to look for players as replacement players, temporary players for your roster, you don't need to worry about batting average. You really don't. Just find a guy that's going to get counting stats for you. And it makes sense to me, right? So here's Nate Lowe. He's definitely okay. He hits the ball hard. Definitely hits the ball hard. But he, look, he's getting lucky right now a little bit. Just a little bit. He's getting a little lucky. I do not see him being able to continue batting with the batting average like that, striking out as much as he does. And this is not just like 30% this year, 30% last year, 29% the year before that. He strikes out a lot. That's all there is to it. He doesn't really take enough walks to really call him like a 3 true outcome player, but he definitely has like the skills of that if he could just get more patient at the plate. All right, so you can pick him up. He's got counting stats, that's for sure. Where's he batting in the lineup? That's important, right in the middle, okay? Not a lot of competition in the Texas lineup, okay? So I wouldn't really worry too much about it. Let me see what you guys are doing in the chat room. So nice to see you, Daniel. Losing Wong, okay. Adam Frazier as a fill-in. Well, you're late. 4:30. Yeah, I should have it at 4:30 because that seems to be when I get up and around, okay, when it's starting to get dark out. So, you're losing. You want Adam Frazier as a fill-in because you're losing Wong. What's going on with Wong? I know he was out just the other day. I remember reading that he was out. I don't have him on any teams, but I know Lenny does. Oblique problems. Uh-oh. We got a problem, oblique. Okay, placed on the 10-day injured list. So, you need a second baseman. We just got done going through the list of second basemen that you can pick up or middle infielders. You could always put, hopefully if you have another second baseman, you could grab a middle infielder. So let me look at my notes and I will just tell you the names of them that I said before you got here. Garrett Hampson, Chris Owings. I do not recommend spending a lot on Chris Owings, but he's an option, okay? And then Kim in San Diego. Even though Kim hasn't done anything good since he came over, but he's going to be filling in for Tatis. And, you got that. Otherwise, for Adam Frazier, I don't know. He's a freaking Pittsburgh guy? No. Yeah, Pittsburgh. I don't know. Let me look at him. Okay. He seems to be, he's batting 227, but other than that, he's got 2 extra base hits, 5 hits out of 22. I'm not a big fan of this guy. Let's see where he bats. He's batting leadoff. Okay, that's good. Tyler Naquin, we are going to talk about him. He doesn't qualify in the middle infielder, but maybe you could move some players around to accommodate some of these guys. And Tout Wars, I could tell you that for free agents, Joey Wendell, come on, man. Joey Wendell, second base, shortstop, third base, okay? He qualifies everywhere in the infield. He's doing good. He scored 19 points in Tout Wars leagues, CBS leagues, and points leagues. So anyway, he's he's got 6 hits in 20 at-bats, 7 RBIs, a home run. I'm telling you, this guy will steal bases. He will hit for home runs. He will play all over the park. People don't like him. They don't know when, he doesn't have a starting job, but Tampa Bay is just, bottom line, he's going to get playing time, especially if he keeps hitting the way he is, okay? Slugging is 438 this week, 550 overall. He's got 2 doubles, 3 singles this week alone, 2 doubles, 3 singles. He had a home run last week. Pick up Joey Wendell. Also, you could choose to grab, do I dare say David Bote? Do I dare? No. Nah, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Rougned Odor is a Yankee now. He's not going to be worth it. Maybe Tommy LaStella is available. He qualifies at first, second, third, all over the infield. And Tommy LaStella is nothing flashy, but Tommy LaStella will likely bat leadoff. And what about Wilmer Flores? You could pick up Wilmer Flores. What's he doing? Wilmer Flores is... And Starlin Castro. He hasn't played much because the Nationals haven't played much, but Starlin Castro is playing third base. And he will, because of Keyboom getting sent down. Is it Keyboom over there? I think it is, the third baseman in Washington, but he was sent down. So Starlin Castro is going to play third base. And that means that within, another few games, he will qualify at third base and second base. I have I have a scratch in my throat. So Jorge Mateo is another one that you should keep an eye on. I mean, Jorge Mateo, he's on my list here to talk about. He had a great spring. He batted .316. He stole 3 bases and 70 at-bats. And in Winter League, he batted .316 with 2 homers and 4 steals over 75 plate appearances. He was once ranked as high as the 26th prospect in Baseball America. And he stole 82 bases in 2015, and he stole 52 bases in 2017. He started hitting home runs just recently with 19 home runs in 119 games in 2019, and he's hit 29 doubles or more twice. Jorge Mateo is somebody to watch too. That's also San Diego, okay? That should give you enough middle infielders to check out, okay? And I don't think Adam Frazier is your man. Mm-mm. I do not think so. Okay. Moving on. On Hampson, how much do you have? He wants to know how much I would spend on Hampson. Hampson is looking good. I would probably spend 20% of Fab on. I don't know if I would spend that much. Okay. We don't really know the length of the Wong injury. That's a problem. But I'm not going to spend that much on Garrett Hampson if I see Joey Wendell available, if I see definitely Joey Wendell. I'm a big fan, though. I'm kind of biased, probably. If like Starlin Castro is available, I'm just not going to spend that much money on Castro or on Hampson if there's other options. I don't think that Hampson is reliable enough to spend a good chunk of your fab money on. That's just my opinion. But like if you talk to Lenny, he would probably tell you otherwise. Hampson definitely has traits that tell me that he's going to be a good baseball player for sure. He's going to be an asset to your fantasy team. This is all dependent upon whether he can stay healthy, okay? But he looks like great right now. I would probably, if I had $100, I would spend 20 on Hampson at the most. That's it, 20. What do you think of that, Daniel? Are any of those other guys available? I'd like to know in the chat room. All right, corner and field, back to corner and field. We talked about Longoria. We talked about Yuri Gurriel. We talked about Nate Lowe. Okay, Ryan McMahon is another one. Colorado guy, qualifying at a lot of positions. Probably not available in most leagues, but it's worth a try. Check it out. He's going to get playing time for sure. The position eligibility is great again. But all these guys that we're talking about, like the last 4 or 5 guys that I've mentioned, have position eligibility. The fact that they're available in a lot of leagues is really, I don't know, it's kind of baffling, but the fact that they're available in a lot of leagues tells me that there's no reason to draft them because they're available. Like why, maybe you want to take a chance on somebody with a higher upside, a higher ceiling than that. So I would definitely look to Starlin Castro, maybe not Wilmer Flores, but I'm a fan of Wilmer Flores. But anyway, I would definitely look to Starlin Castro or Wendell for cheaper. And hope, because Hampson, think about it. I mean, Hampson could actually replace Wong for the season and do much better because Wong, in some ways he's overrated. In some ways he's underrated. Like he doesn't ever go high in drafts. He's not ever like really, flashy. He's only ever stolen 20 bases or more one time, I think. So he's kind of like, you want to expect that from Wong, and now that he's in Milwaukee, he might be able to do that again, and the chances could be. But Hampson could hit 15 or 20 homers and steal 25, 30 bases. So Hampson, if he lives up to what what his talent, like his skill set, then he would be a better player than Wong, and he would be actually a long-term replacement for him. And with Wendell, you're going to get some stolen bases. You're going to get some home runs. And I don't really know what he's capable of doing, but he's not like, well known, and he's not like touted by anybody. The best thing that I saw about the guy is that he can do both, hit home runs, steal bases, and he's going to play because he's a utility guy and he qualifies everywhere. That's his assets. So there's that. Okay. Now let's go to some, outfield. Okay, not Tyler Naquin. Here we go. Here's the deal about Tyler Naquin. Cincinnati now. He was with Cleveland. He was drafted. He was the 15th overall pick. Okay, so he was drafted in the first round in 2012. He spent 9 years with the Cleveland Indians. He's just been overrun with injuries all the time. Like he's had hip surgery. He's had torn ACL. He's had strained calf. Okay. He's got a fracture in his big toe. If it's not one thing, it's another thing. Okay. And he's missed a lot of time. And not only that, the rest of the time that he was with the Indians, basically he never got full playing time. He was not known for his defense in the outfield. He actually was known for pretty poor defense. He was also not known for being good against lefties. So he would be benched against lefties, even though I don't really feel like he ever had an opportunity to prove himself against lefties, because ever since the day he was brought up into the majors, he's been a platoon guy. So Naquin, these are the reasons why you haven't really heard much about Naquin. So Cleveland decided they were not going to tender him this season, and they let him go in December. And that's when the Indians came along and said, or the Reds came along and said, we'll give him a shot. Our defense sucks anyway, so it doesn't really matter if he has bad defense, right? Because all of our defense is horrible. We'll just stick him out there next to Castellanos, and they could be like the worst defense in baseball together. And it'll be like Cespedes family barbecue and stuff. And really, the only thing they're missing is Cespedes. I'm just kidding. Anyway, that is true about the defense. Cincinnati is not known for defense. They're absolutely horrifying with their defense, okay? But they're scoring runs like crazy right now. And I mean, that's great, okay? So Tyler Naquin has not ever had really an opportunity to play every day, number one. We always knew that he had some power, but he also had a problem hitting fly balls. He did not hit enough fly balls, and so that was really keeping a cap on his ceiling. It was really like holding him back. So number one is bad defense. Number two, his problem with fly balls, which he's obviously fixed because he's hitting fly balls like crazy right now. His fly ball percentage went up. So it's been, I mean, it was absolutely horrible just a few years ago. In 2018, his fly ball percentage was only 23%. That was actually up from the year before, 20%. So 20%, 23%, and then it went up. But he just didn't have enough at bats for anybody to notice. So his fly ball percentage went up to 35%. And then last year in the shortened season, it was 34% fly balls. This year, right now, it's 43.8%. Okay, but his home run to fly ball ratio is 71%, and that is obviously not going to last. Okay, but the thing about him is that he is taking walks, so he's showing discipline at the plate. He strikes out about 22%. Some would say that's horrible. Some would say that's totally fine. Like, I mean, Bobby Dalbec, I mean, we just got done talking about players that strike out 30% and they're still going to hit, they're still going to hit for some power. But Naquin actually, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to tell you to spend a bunch of money on him. Again, I just don't know. But I will say this for him. In 2016, when he was brought up, he had a good season, but they said he didn't look comfortable against lefties, so they never really gave him an opportunity to hit against lefties. I want to know about the depth chart over. Okay, just 1 second. Let me look up the depth chart here. Because I don't think I'd like to know if he's going to see. He doesn't. So it's Nick Senzel, Jesse Winker, and Nick Castellanos. Yes. Okay. I remember this now. Okay. Refreshes my forgetful brain, my short-term memory loss. Okay. Jesse Winker has been losing time because of Naquin, and so has Nick Senzel. And it's not just because of Naquin, but Winker's got some issues with injury right now. He's like sore or something. Nick Senzel was out already. So Tyler Naquin is taking playing time from both of these guys, whether for whatever reason. Okay. Jesse Winker is day-to-day right now, but Tyler Naquin, has been batting leadoff. Now that is huge. And I would say that's excellent because he was batting leadoff when Winker and Senzel, when he's either in or Winker's in, and then Senzel plays so they both play left field and center field. Okay. So, hold on. Winker has missed 4 out of the last 7 games, whether it's due to, for whatever reason. Okay. And Naquin has played, 6 of the last 7. He's been in the lineup 6 of the last 7 days, and he's been batting leadoff 4 out of the last 6. Okay, 4 out of 6, he's batted leadoff. This is just in the last 7 games. Senzel has missed 2, and Winker has missed 4 out of the last 7. So it's either one of those two out when Naquin is in the lineup, but he's batting leadoff 4. No, he's played in the 6 of the last 7. He's batting leadoff 4 out of those 6. So there's something there. That, to me, that gives me reason to want to spend a little bit of money on Naquin. I absolutely think that we just haven't given him enough opportunity to play every day. Right now, the Cincinnati Reds are scoring so many runs. It actually might make up for the crappy defense that they have because their defense is horrible. I already told you that. And so it is what it is. But if Cole Calhoun is there too, I'm telling you, this guy, people were not drafting him. They were acting like this injury is going to be, forever, but it's not. He had, I can't remember what it was, maybe a finger or toe or something. I don't think it was that serious because I remember talking about him on the roundtable. Okay, Freddie Peralta. If Freddie Peralta is available, this is the card. I would spend money on this guy. No doubt about it. I would spend in $100 fab. If I needed a pitcher, a starting pitcher, I would probably spend $30 on him. Peralta strikes out batters. He's in the rotation. He's going to stay in the rotation as long as he stays healthy. He's looking really good. He had a good spring. He qualifies as a reliever and a starting pitcher. So if you have to have a certain number of relievers in your lineup all the time, then he is extra special. So I wish I would have spent a few more dollars on him and got him in Tout Wars, but I didn't. So that's that. But whatever. Okay. Last week I picked up Steven Matz. I have to stream players right now. I have to stream pitchers right now to even compete because I have Eduardo Rodriguez, I have Robbie Ray, I have Gallen, and Strasburg is back. He's back, but that's just whatever. Anyway, I picked up Trevor Williams and Steven Matz because I liked their matchup this week. And on the very first day of the week, they gave me like 60 or 70 points, the two of them. I was so happy with it. I have to figure out what I'm going to do this week. I haven't really had time to even look to see who I can put in, but I really hope that Gallen comes back soon. I pray every day for Gallen to come back soon. Gallen is like he is really I don't know, he's like the cornerstone of my rotation. But I mean, I have Lamet on the DL. I do have Glass now. He's pretty good. But Zach Gallen, Lamet, Eduardo Rodriguez, Robbie Ray, Nick Anderson, all of those guys. Plus I have George Springer on this team. I don't have a lot of luck right now with my team, but my team is still doing okay. And that's because I just stream pitchers that look like they're going to have a good week. And right now I wish I would have done that earlier because I should be having that done by now so I could actually talk about like maybe 2-start pitchers or whoever. When you pick up players in Tout Wars, you have to put them active that day. Like you have to leave them active as soon as you grab them. So Sundays, obviously you have to leave them in from Monday to Thursday. If they're a pitcher, then you can replace them on Friday. Or if they're a hitter, you have to leave them in Monday through Sunday. You can't just grab a player and not keep them in the lineup. So that kind of matters. Anyways, Jake Arrieta is a guy that can be picked up. Okay. And I mean, again, this is like a $5 guy. I do not recommend spending a lot of your fab money on Arietta. But he looked great. He's back with the Cubbies. He pitched very well for the Cubbies, okay? And I think that has something to do with his success right now. He went to Philly for the last couple years. He was not effective in Philly. He was injured half the time. We thought his career was over, but he's really showing that maybe his career is not over, okay? Maybe he's able to do what he does. And the fact that he's a veteran, he hasn't had a lot of innings under his belt like the last few seasons, but we know he can. And Arrieta's worth a few bucks. Carlos Rodon, I'm sorry, I'm not a big fan of this Carlos Rodon, okay, but he's pitching well. What are you going to do? He had a great spring. You can't deny credit where the credit is due with Rodon. I'm talking like $5 max on this guy. He is not ever proven to be healthy, and he will not be healthy this year. I'll bet pretty much anything on it because if he is healthy, they're not going to they're just going to rest. I guarantee that Michael Kopech is going to steal starts from Carlos Rodon sooner rather than later. Right now, yeah, he's pitching well. I would rather invest in Kopech because Kopech is the guy that's coming in after the starting pitcher. He's going to get wins. He's going to pitch multiple innings because they're stretching him out for the rotation. I think they're trying to just keep him active. They're keeping him pitching until they don't want him in the rotation right now because they want to make the playoffs. So they want to pitch well in the playoffs. Same thing for David Price. Like, I really do believe that David Price is like it seems sucky for fantasy owners. David Price is not in this rotation, and I would have assumed that he would be in the rotation just like anybody else would have assumed that, but he's not right now. I think they're keeping him healthy for the second half of the season. I really do, and I think that he's like their ace in the hole, and I think that Michael Kopech is also the same for the Sox. They're going to keep him healthy enough to, keep him. They're going to just keep him pitching enough to keep his arm going, and they're going to give him multiple innings, and eventually he's going to be worked up to where he can make some starts second half of the season. Invest in Kopech before it's too late. Jake Diekmann. I love Jake Diekmann. I only just found him this year, and he's not young, but I really like watching him pitch, and he throws. He's got lots of movement on his pitches, and we just found out that Rosenthal is not going to be healthy for a while. So this is not just a short-term thing with Diekmann, but they also have Sergio Romo and some other potential saves guy. So I don't really know if Diekmann is going to get all the save chances, but he could. Lenny's probably Hi, Malpal. Yay, you're here. Okay. I'm so glad. I don't know where you were. Maybe you were on a plane or on the way to the airport. Okay. I'm just glad to see you. We talked about Tyler Naquin already and you missed it. But I did some investigating after we talked last night. Lenny told me only an hour, but I'm going to defy him right now because I like being defiant. That's what I do. And I'm not done yet. But I won't talk too much longer. Okay, Julian Merriweather. I think that he's probably picked up in most leagues. Like last week, I talked about Merriweather. I said, don't spend a lot of money on him, but you should probably, he was the guy. So that's what they showed right off the bat. He's owned in 65% in CBS leagues. So if he's available, okay, spend a couple dollars. I mean, this is not a short-term situation here too, because he is filling in for somebody that's out, Tommy John surgery. So, gosh, I mean, let me see real quick. Toronto has so many injury problems right now. They have a lot of injury problems. Like I told you, Lourdes Gurriel was out and some other injuries, but Merriweather, his major league track record isn't going to tell us very much because he doesn't really have one. He was a starter and he didn't really strike out a lot of batters when he was a starter, but they pretty much are going to him in save situations at the moment. If he continues to pitch well, it's his job to lose, I think. I mean, this is a situation where if you're a temporary closer or they happen to give you a chance to save a game and you're a bullpen guy, there's nobody else. If you do well, you get the opportunity to hold on to that spot. And until you falter, they usually don't take the job away unless you're Tampa Bay, or a team like that doesn't really ever like to do closers. They like to do closer by whatever they play the moment. So he's throwing 100 miles an hour. His spin rate and movement, it's exciting. He's 29-year-old. So, I mean, he's not a rookie, but he's a failed starter. That's all there is to it. He's a failed starter. A lot of failed starters, they turn out to be great closers, great bullpen guys, especially effectors. They could throw more than one inning, right? So, but hey, like I said, it's his job to lose. So I would throw a couple dollars, maybe $10 or $12 at him, maybe $8. I don't know. If I really needed a closer, I'd probably throw 18 maybe at the most, $100 for the season. Jordan Romano is still there. So, I mean, Jordan Romano is, that's who we thought was going to be the closer in Toronto. But, all right. So, like I said, Merriweather getting the job done. He's going to continue to get the spot. He's going to continue to get opportunity until he doesn't get the job done or until, for what, I don't know. Anyway, just remember, he's not the only one there that is capable of getting saves, even though neither of these guys were expected to be the closer at the beginning of the season when they invested heavily in Kirby. Is it Kirby? I think it was Kirby Yates. God, I'm feeling forgetful today, but hopefully my instinct is good enough. For catcher, you could pick up Tucker Barnhart. I was actually looking at catchers because I saw that Yan Gomes was out. Yan Gomes is actually back. He was off on COVID quarantine or something. He's back, so I don't have to pick up a catcher, but there is a couple that I would say to go and investigate because I didn't do that. It would be Dom Nunez, Omar Narvaez, and Tucker Barnhart. These three catchers seem to be hitting the ball well. There's, if you're in a 2-catcher league, these guys are taken. If you're in a 1-catcher league, there's all kinds of catchers available, so it doesn't really matter who you pick up. Probably pick up whoever has the best matchup coming up, and you know, there's that. And that's it. Mal Pal, nice to see you, dude. Nice to see you. That's it. We're done. The Blue Jays, they're having a bad time right now, but that's it. I wish I had more. I wish that's it. I don't think I have much more than that. So I'm out. Wade Miley has 2 starts this week, but I don't know. I haven't done any studying on that. So have a great weekend, everybody.